Hi, welcome back to Gooey.AI. We've been looking at how the bulk runner and evaluator work. We've already set up a few of the bulk runs, and we've added our own golden Q&A here. And now I just wanted to do a little bit of understanding of how the evaluation works. If you notice from the last video, we use this evaluation workflows setup, which is basically another workflow which is chained to the bulk workflow. And if I were to go click here and go, you would find that there is a separate evals or evaluator here, which kind of connects to our evaluation here in the bulk run. But how does this work? So we've done a little bit on Jinja templating, which is basically looking at how we can use templating in our prompt. There is one format where you did the bulk run and you got all of your answers. There may be situations where you also manually collected the responses, or maybe they came to you in different sheets and you want to evaluate a bunch of them together. I ran two bulk runs and I got two responses each from GPT-4o and Gemini 2.5, but I wanted to compare how they were standing up overall to the golden answer. So I manually added them to a sheet, which kind of looks like this. I said test 1, test 2, test 3, and test 4. So I don't need to run this again in the bulk evaluator because it's going to rerun all of the workflows, and I don't want that. I've already got my CSV set up and I just want to test it. That's all I want to do. And this could even have external data, whatever else you might be testing. We know that it's already using GPT-4o to do the evaluation, but we can change that language as we prefer, just to kind of have a look at what works best. So here you can already see the first run is scoring way better than the second GPT-4o run, and Gemini 2. And Gemini 2.5 and first run and second run are kind of the same in terms of their answering capability. So I want to dig a little bit deeper into how the prompting works, and then let's see how we can make sure that we understand how the runs work, and we make sure that we aren't taking whatever they are saying just for their word, and being able to iterate and improve on top of that. So once we've added the CSV and it's got all of the data present in the columns, we have an evaluation prompt. Now, so this is set up very much like the other prompts that we have, which is just saying that your job is to assess AI generated answers and compare it to the golden answers. So we've set up the instructions. We say, okay, score it from 0 to 1, where 0 means it's not making any sense, and 1 means everything was intact and all the points are correct. And then we say that once you've done that, you have to make a JSON which has the rationale of why you felt the model, which model worked best, and what is the score you gave, which is a kind of for loop within an if loop, if you notice. So here, this is a little more technical, but all you need to know is because I used test in my Excel or my CSV sheet, I have said test here. So it recognizes all of the particular columns and it's able to build out a evaluation based on that. So my recommendation is, when you're building out any of your golden Q&As, which has many answers from various GPT or Gemini or other models, make sure that the header column always has some consistency, as here we've kept it at test 4. But typically, if you see the way that the bulk runner would generate it, it would always say name of the bot, whatever we've given, plus output text. So here we've just called it test and we gave the GPT run. So now what we do is we've of course hit run, and we'll just go into the details a bit of how this is working. So what it's doing is, for every row that you have, it's doing this evaluation of how well these have responded. So if you see here, you can see that it's compared it, and then it said which is the best, and then it's given it every one of them a score, right? So that's for every single line. So basically, the number of rows that you have in your CSV is the number of times this evaluator and this bulk run will run, and it allows it to do a larger test. So we've tested this on over 100 answers, and it's been able to give us really great responses as well. If you go into the details, you'll notice that it's got that same prompt that we added, right? But inside the prompt, it's passed all of the specific columns as GPT test 1, GPT 4.0, test 2, and so on, based on whatever was in the column, right? And then it's passed each of those answers. So you can see test 1, GPT 4, test 2, Gemini 2.5, and so on. And then it has asked that it should give a JSON output for that. And then it's done that for every single row that we have within our evaluator. So once that JSON is outputted, we don't see that JSON, but what our tool is able to do is split the details from that JSON into the various spaces here. So in this column, you see the compare rationale, then you see the best model, then you see the ranking, right? And that's exactly what we had asked it to do. We said give the rationale, give the best model, and for each particular test column, give a numbering, which is based on 0 to 1. So this is how the evaluator works. You can use it independently with your own CSV. You may have to tweak the prompt a little bit, like I explained, or you can just hook it up to our existing example here, where the only thing you need to do is give your question and your golden answer, and the rest of it, as you can see, is empty. And then we've got an example that's hooked up to it, which will do that evaluation for you, right? So this is how you can run the bulk runner and evaluator tools, and hopefully it should give you an understanding of how you can improve your answers. Now I wanted to focus a little bit on a few answers which I thought were a bit off, and the analysis allowed it to pass through. So one of them is here, which is number 7, where the user asked, how can I use Gen.AI to improve my SEO? So for us, the golden answer is that you can leverage our people also ask, or our SEO centered tools, and we've given a bunch of links, and we always end by saying go to the docs. And here you see it's kind of given a similar answer with GPT-4, but if you see Gemini 2.5, it's given a very long-winded answer where it's kind of referenced the right tools, but it's given a lot of incorrect hyperlinks, which is a little bit out of place and may not necessarily. It's given a So here you'll notice in test 2 Gemini 2.5, while it's given some answers correctly, you'll also notice that a lot of these hyperlinks have been hallucinated. So this is not useful to us. Obviously, it's going to misdirect the user. But if you notice, it still says that Gemini 2.5 was the best answer. So here is where we have to tweak both the LLM here in the evaluation prompt, but also consider how we can improve our answers and make sure that they don't appear to be accurate, which definitely this has a lot of confidence and it answers it with this sort of detail, but a lot of it is incorrect. So it's important to figure those balances out and not assume that the LLM is going to give you the exact right response. So in the next video, we'll look at how we can iterate a bit more on this and see how we can fix prompts, how we can fix knowledge bases, and how we can improve our Copilot using the bulk run and the evaluation tools. Thank you.